In this video, I'm going to go over the BBP protocol on the Civets SRM5E. So we actually have a dedicated button for between batch protocol on this machine. The button is dual purpose. It handles both the warm up before roasting, and it also handles the cool down and reset process between batches. So that BBP stands for between batch protocol. The goal of the BBP sequence is to make sure the roaster starts every roast from the same thermal condition. This way, the first roast of the day, the 10th roast of the day, and even the 20th roast of the day can all start from the same spot. A proper warm-up and between batch protocol is important because the roaster itself stores heat. If the thermal mass of the roaster is different from batch to batch, the roast will behave differently, even if the profile settings are exactly the same. Some people say that a warm-up or between batch protocol on an air roaster is not important. We've done testing and we've proved that that's really not the case. Even though we're just roasting with hot air, the temperature of the roast chamber itself will affect your roast. So the purpose of our BBP sequence is repeatability. That's one thing we're really big on. The way we've made it easy for ourselves is we actually put a temperature probe that reads the temperature of the steel itself on the roast chamber. So we use that as kind of a gauge. We heat the steel up to the same point every time on our warm-up. And then we have that set point to where at the end of the roast chamber is typically just above that set point. And then we'll cool down to our between batch set point between every roast. So we warm up to our set point initially, and then between every roast, we cool back down to that set point. So the warm up typically takes about 7 to 10 minutes. And then between batches, it takes about 2 minutes usually to cool down to that set point. The way we do it is we control the temperature of the air coming into the roaster. On the warm up, we're going to heat that air up really hot and hold it there until our steel temperature is warmed up. Between batches, we're going to cut the heat and we're going to blow cool air through the roast chamber until it cools down to our set point. Once we've reached the set point that we want on our roast chamber, then we set the temperature of the incoming air based on the bean temperature probe. That lets us hold the air inside the roast chamber at a steady set point. This lets us, basically this stabilizes everything. It lets us hold a steady temperature both inside the roast chamber and on the steel of the roast chamber as well. That all kind of just stays steady once we've gotten through our sequence. What that means is it's not like a moving target we're trying to hit between batches. We've got it set, we've got it leveled out. So that way, if it takes you 30 seconds, even a minute to load your beans, once it's reached the set point, it's going to be fine. It just holds it there for you. We've set the roaster to automatically enter the between batch protocol in between every roast. So really the only time you need to hit the BBP button is either when you're warming up the roaster or if you want to stop or restart the BBP for some reason while you're roasting. So if you want to step away for 10 or 20 minutes and you don't want to hold that temperature between batches, you can press the BBP stop and it'll just cool the roaster down. And then you can go through your warm up again when you come back. And it's all just done with that one button. And that's really all you got to do. We've gotten some questions about charge temperature. Can we change that, set that to something different? And I think it's important to understand what the charge temperature really is. So on most roasters, you can't actually read the temperature of the steel itself. So instead, you kind of just guess by the temperature of the air that's inside the chamber. And so really what you're doing when you're adjusting the charge temperature is you're really trying to adjust the thermal mass of the roaster itself. So the number we can change on here, instead of charge temperature specifically, we actually just drill down and we let you set the temperature of the roast chamber itself between batches or during a warm-up. So if you want to start your roast with a lot more thermal energy, you can actually bump that number up. It's in the settings. You can increase that number so it'll heat everything up hotter between batches. If you have something really delicate and you're like, I want to start really gentle, you can actually lower the between batch temperature as well. So instead of kind of just guessing by the temperature of the air in there, we actually let you precisely set the temperature of the chamber between batches.